Hello, I'm Toppy and welcome to one of my topic videos. In this series what I do is I pick a topic and basically I just give my opinion on it. And today I want to talk about the brand new Battlefield game which will be coming out in October, on October the 18th if you pre-order it, and October the 21st if you don't, and that is Battlefield 1. I am so excited for Battlefield 1. As soon as the trailer launched, I was watching it live and I was extremely excited watching it, and I just can't wait to play it because I've really wanted to go back and play a historic game, because we haven't had a game come out in the last few years that's been set in a war that's happened in the past. And being set in World War One, I think DICE will be able to do a really good job with this. They'll be able to make it a really fun, competitive game. And it also limits what they can actually do if they want to stay authentic to the time period. So it means that we're limited to pretty basic weapons, vehicles and gadgets, which should, as long as DICE balance the weapons well, should make it a really fair and competitive game. Because in Battlefield 4, we're getting stuff that was too high tech to actually be able to be countered well in game. So if you think of something like the UCAV, if you haven't played Battlefield 4, what is it? It's pretty much the dart from Black Ops 3, only it wasn't earned, it was a gadget that you could pull out anytime you wanted. You could just fly around the map, crash into people and it would kill them. There was really no way to avoid this. If it was coming for you, you were going to die if it hit you. There wasn't really any way to avoid it, there wasn't any way to destroy it, and that did make it quite unbalanced and you could go on massive kill streaks with it. The way that DICE tried to balance this out was they made it pretty hard to use, so you had to be really good at using it to be able to make it really effective. But when you look at how good some of the players actually are, like the players that are in the Nova clan, they're absolutely ridiculous players. They go on huge streaks and they're some of the best players in the world. They're that good that although they do have relatively small followings, DICE have invited them to play the pre-alpha that's going on right now that all the big YouTubers and a lot of the game developers are playing in, so they can work out the balancing issues. The players in Nova and what used to be MTS, they're incredibly good players and they only have around 30 to 50,000 followers each, and that's for the biggest ones. So for players with this much skill, they could master pretty much anything in the game, and that's why Battlefield 1 is going to be so good, because everyone is going to be on a pretty much level playing field, because hopefully everything should be authentic to the time. It should be mostly bolt action rifles. I do know that we've got quite a lot of automatic weapons just from the beta and pre-released gameplay that we've seen, but hopefully they should be quite easy to use but really hard to master. That's what I want to see in this game. I want to see everyone to be able to use pretty much everything in the game, but then it'd be really hard to become extremely efficient with it. And as long as for every weapon there's a counter to it, then it should be a really fair and balanced game, and that's what I really want to see in Battlefield 1. Because you look at Battlefield Hardline, there were so many overpowered weapons in it, it was such a bad game, such a bad map design, that after a few months it dropped down to about 4,000 players playing it. And then you looked at the people playing in Battlefield 4 and there was like 40,000 constantly playing. So it's not only for us that we want to see a good game, it's also for DICE. Because if they fail to make a good game again, I know it wasn't DICE that made last time, it was Visceral, but they did have some stuff to do with it. We could see Battlefield next year be in the position that Call of Duty is in this year, where no one's really looking forward to it because we're not expecting anything from the game and that it's going to be a massive failure again. One thing that I do really like is how they switched up the classes. I'm not sure if it's going to work as well, but I do like how it looks at the moment. Basically, if you haven't been keeping up with it, what we've got in Battlefield 1 is very limited customizability. So like in Battlefield 4 where you would pick your weapon, then you would pick a sight and then 2 attachments, and the same in Call of Duty where you pick your weapon and then your sights and your attachments. What you do in Battlefield 1, it has preset out classes, so you'll pick your class, like your medic class, then you'll pick a weapon like your shotgun, and then it'll give you 4 different types of classes for that weapon, which will have set attachments and optics on it. So say you want to play close-up, you'll pick the close-up class for the shotgun, and then you've got 3 other different variants of that weapon with different attachments on. That should all be suited for one specific style of play. This again really helps with the weapon balancing issues, because instead of looking at each individual attachment, they can just look at the class as a whole and change one part of that subclass. So if one attachment on that weapon was making it outperform everything else, they could go in and just slightly tweak the stats and nerf that a little bit, so then it does fall in line with all the other classes and it's not massively overpowered. This means it doesn't have a knock-on effect on all the other weapons, which does make it really good for us and also a lot easier for the developers to keep on top of all the weapon balancing issues in the game, especially on release where we will be seeing quite a lot of weapons that are unbalanced. Even though it's gone through pre-alpha with the developers, pre-alpha with the closed community, closed beta, open beta, and any other type of testing DICE wants doing it before release, they won't find everything in the game that breaks it. We will inevitably find things wrong with the game straight away, but hopefully by having subclasses they can quickly and easily change those, and because it's a limited thing that isn't spread across the whole of the weapons in the game, it should mean that patch sizes should be smaller and updates can be pushed out more regularly. And just one final thing that I want to talk about in this video, I've mentioned it before, and that is authenticity. I don't want this game to change as it goes along its life cycle. I want it to stay how it started, so I want it to be authentic, normal weapons all the way up until the end. And I don't want EA to just start throwing in DLC crazy weapon skins that throw the game off what it actually is, just because they can see an opportunity to make some more money, which is really what they always do. They're always throwing in cases, they have all sorts of items in that we don't really want, just because they can see they can make more money out of it. I know that's what the developers will want for this game, but it's not really up to them, it's up to EA, and if they tell them they have to do it, then they don't really have a choice. And another thing that I want to see gone from this game is battle log, because battle log never worked well. It was good for tracking your stats, but it was never very easy to use. I'd like to see it either remade or something completely new being made, because what they wanted it to do, to be able to track your stats and everything, was a really good idea. It just wasn't working correctly. They did try to update for Battlefield 4, but it still wasn't working correctly, so I'd like to see a simplified version that's more effective and works better in game. But overall, can't wait for Battlefield 1. I haven't actually pre-ordered it yet. I really need to get doing that so I can get it on October the 18th. I'm not sure if that's a deluxe edition, but if it is, I'm just going to buy the deluxe edition because I want it on October the 18th. And I can't wait to start making videos on it. I am going to be getting on PC. I should be upgrading my PC in a few weeks. I'm thinking I might actually do a build video because I do want to start doing quite a lot of PC gaming videos on this channel. At the moment I'm really into CSGO again. I stopped playing it for a while, but it's my favourite game. It's just so fun to play, and I really want to do Battlefield 1 on PC because it should be a lot easier to record with my new graphics card, and I can get a lot better quality on PC than I can playing on PS4. But if you have enjoyed this video and you're still here, this has been quite a long video, so thanks for staying until the end. Please make sure you like, comment and subscribe. Tell me what you want me to talk about in the comments down below, and I'll see you in my next video.